Wow, it cannot make up its mind. But hey, here we go. I'm going to try it without the ring light because I feel like the lighting is fine. It's like iris on my camera that keeps opening up anyway. So even though it's darker to me on the camera, it's actually brighter. Very interesting. So this is the second half of that haul, which is the bigger half, which technically is not half, but there's two different stores. So that's the way I'm looking at it. In this particular one, we're looking at stuff from Buried Under Comics I picked up on October the 4th. So whenever you're seeing the rewind of this, you may be a year away. I don't know. I got so many things going ahead of me. It's probably a month ahead at least. So some of these comics are what they say right here. And I would get on the live stream and I would suddenly start having to cough. That's just fantastic. There's a lot of, okay, so right now it is October 6th. And we're having a lot of pollen issues down here. And thankfully my room is air conditioned, is why you can have to hear me yell over the air conditioner. And the whole house was not air conditioned until now. It's just I got to turn on the other air conditioners. Dad does not like it cold. He's 80 years old. He has to have it hot. Yeah, that also kills the ability to filter out the air. All right, so anyway, back to the comics, because that's what people really want to see, not hear me talk about being old. The Dilmart. I don't know why it says Dilmart, but this is from a place called Buried Under Comics in Wilmington. Now, out of the two comic shops I've been to in Wilmington, I have not been downtown because I don't like downtowns. I don't know, there's something creepy about being downtowns. I don't know what it is, even though it's during the daytime. The one I like better is Buried Under Comics. No shade to Fanboys Comics. It's just, hey, everybody has their own preferences. I'm sure a lot of the younger people like Fanboys because it's brighter and newer stuff, and I'm old and I like old stuff. That's just the way it goes. For $2, I got this G.I. Joe yearbook, so I only paid 50 cents more than the original cover price. But I love G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe and Transformers were my 80s. Micronauts and ROM were my 70s. And I love this comic. I haven't read this particular one. See, I kind of got onto the board with G.I. Joe in 1982 when it started. But then when Transformers started, I think I kind of faded out of the G.I. Joe a little bit. Plus, it, for some reason, it got really hard to collect. And one of the guy who was there told me that, yeah, after about, I think the last 50 issues were almost impossible to find. They really lowered their ratios, or however many comics they were making, period, for G.I. Joe, which is a shame because that makes the later issues, the newer issues, actually more expensive than the earlier issues. Now, this is not one of the later runs. I do remember getting back into G.I. Joe whenever Transformers came over and also all the ninja stuff. And I do like ninjas. Storm Shadow is my second favorite G.I. Joe. And of course, if you watched any of my videos, you know that Zartan is my favorite. All right, and he's, well, Snake, okay, so the thing about, Storm Shadow, he's often considered a Cobra agent, but let's be honest, he's not neither one. He's looking out for himself, which is, kind of like what they do. A lot of bad guys, I guess you can say. I don't consider him a bad guy, to be honest with you. All right, so Mask, number 3. This is from the the very first 4-issue series. If you want to read all of the stories, you have to get one issue before all the 4 issues, which is, I call it issue 0. It was one of those books inside of a book. It's like the middle pages of another book. But yes, Mask was a fantastic cartoon and toy line. The cartoon actually still holds up. If you find it on YouTube, watch it. If you've never seen it, it's a great... Oh, I didn't even show you this. This is the back side. Some great wraparound cover art. So again, Mask, we got Venom is the evil people. This is Mayhem is his name, Miles Mayhem. And of course, this is Tracker. And behind him is one of the helicopters that I had when I was a kid. I'm blanking on his name. Because I also had the Vampire, and I do remember that one because Vampire was driven by Billy Idol. I don't care what his real name was. I know it was Floyd Malloy. He was definitely Billy. But he's Billy Idol. There's no other looking at it. You got to look at it and say that, whoa, there's an earthquake. No, we don't have earthquakes. We live at the beach on the East Coast. And you're like, California. Yeah, don't live in California. So, anyway, my favorite Mask vehicle is the, what in the heck is it? Raven. And that one's really close. I think his name was Honduras or something. No, that was the guy that drove the, anyway, Formula 1 kind of car, whatever, the go-kart looking thing. All right, so before I keep babbling on, you're like, you're an idiot. I'm not completely stupid. I'm just trying to make the best of what we got going on right here. We got Johnny Quest number 9. I have absolutely no Johnny Quest comics. I could have picked them all up at one time from the Comico line. I didn't. So he gave me this one for $1. So I'm like, yes, I will try. I love this cover. And I know you're thinking, oh, it's a bub cover. Is it really, though? I guess it's a bub cover, but I like it because it's painted, not because of the woman in the middle. I know that's what some people are zoomed in on. Plus, it's a wraparound cover, so you can't even notice it, but there's a little ear right there and all that in the background. You can't tell what it is, but if you pull it all the way out, you'll see that it wraps around to the back. I love wraparound covers. Okay, now we're getting to the stuff that was half price. He had, and my air conditioner is getting loud because it's getting hot. It's 11 o'clock here. Whoa! Bob, speak of the devil. Oh my gosh. That's crazy because I have absolutely no one viewing, it says, but then Bub pops up. Yep, there's a Bub cover. I was thinking, yeah, I'm going to get flack for that from people. Wow, that's amazing. It's like Beetlejuice, and there he pops up. That's crazy. Thanks for joining, Bob. But seriously, it showed me there's nobody watching, which is, whatever. All right, this Star Trek comic book, when I saw it, I was like, this is one I had as a kid. And it's hard to tell the issue numbers. Thankfully, he wrote them on the back. But yeah, I know I had this as a kid. I definitely remember this face and everything. So I picked this one up for $3.50. I think it was a great deal. Haven't opened it yet. I just got these 2 days ago. We got Korok, son of Tarzan. I thought it was a Tarzan cover at first. Another painted cover. I love painted covers. I think they're fantastic. This one is in a weird, like, sleeve thing that you put into a binder. I don't know. So it's fine. This is a one-shot Big Red Walt Disney. If you've ever seen The Wonderful World of Disney every Sunday night, when I was a kid, that's what we watched. It would come on every Sunday night. I had to take a nap in order to stay up to see all of it. I think I had my bedtime was at 8 o'clock. Big Red was one of the many, many shows that they would show on Sunday nights that never made it to a theater. I don't remember the show that much, but when I see Walt Disney and I see that it's old, I like to pick it up. All right. I was just talking about this the other day. I love Lost in Space, and I love the painted covers from this line. So we have Space Family Robinson, Lost in Space. Again, it's hard to tell what numbers these are, but thankfully put it on the back. This is number 31. And look at that painted cover. It's a very nice painted cover. We also have Lost in Space. Oh, thankfully the air conditioning went down. This one is number 44. Oh, and by the way, they're half the price that you see them. So that's actually $3. We got Lost in Space on Space Station 1. Nice painted cover again. I feel like I'm like a mile away from these comics. I'm just trying different things with this new tripod I got. All right, so we got Lost in Space. And this is from the Whitman. So I don't know if it's a reissue. I think it is. For $7, but I got it for $3.50. Another painted cover. That one creeps me out, actually. All right, I'm going to have to put these to the side. They're getting to be where they're too big of a load. All right, we got Mighty Samson. Old Noah wakes up to a violent new world, and he decides to make it his. Interesting. It's got a Bible thing going on with Noah. I mean, Samson is one of those situations where it could be or could not be. I know, I feel like they're 5 feet long, like I'm Stretch Armstrong here. So Samson is, a biblical name, but I think the comic book is loosely translated in information because, he means a warrior, super strong guy. But we got Noah right there in the mix. And then we got Tono and Kono, the Jungle Twins. Now, I've never heard of this before that day of looking through these. I was like, hey, I'll pick up at least one of them for $1.50. Sure, why not? And it's a painted cover. It's one of the last issues they made, and it's a Whitman reprint. But it's one of the last issues they made. I think it was it doesn't say on the back, but I think it's like number 22 or 27. And by the way, this was the other, it was either, I think this is 27. I think this was number 22. They didn't put them on the back, but I have so few of these and none of these, so why not? And then we got a cartoon that I actually never even knew until I made my list that they made a comic book out of. Or it's not even a cartoon, it's like a live action thing. The Bugaloos, we're in the air and everywhere. I used to watch this when I was a kid. I know, it's for 50 cents. And plus, I actually put on my list that I wanted to find the Bugaloo comics. The cover is not beautiful in my personal opinion, but it's interesting. It's very different. I'm going to have to definitely crack it open and look inside and see what it is. If it's better art on the inside. Because maybe one of those things that you can't judge a book by its cover. and this one is not a pretty cover in my opinion. I already had this one. I didn't know, but I didn't have a list of my Doomsday. I still got to work on my list because it's like I don't have them in alphabetical order. I had them in theme order. Yeah, it worked okay. Doomsday Plus one was not on my list at all, but for $1, I'm not leaving it behind. Jim Burns art, that cover looks really good. So I definitely wanted to pick up this one, and I may have a modern version of this one. I don't know exactly which one I have. And the Jetsons, I mean, $1.50. That's a fantastic comic. It's a Charlton comic, 15 center, so I think it's right 1970, maybe a little bit earlier. But look at that. Astro's Doghouse. They don't look too happy, so I don't know what was going on there, but that looks really funny. I don't think I have any Jetsons comics, so it's nice to have one of the cartoons I enjoyed as a kid. Oop, I'm heading past that 10-minute mark. Barney and Betty Rubble. Now, I knew they had Flintstones comics, and I only recently learned they had Barney and Betty Rubble comics, which I thought, really? It must be something maybe they made in small quantities. But I did get number 19 for $2. Can't beat that. And these smells, I love that old comic book smell. Whew, smells great. And then we're back to the one. So if you missed my earlier video, I don't know if it went live. I was in the ring light and I was trying that thing out and it was awful. So I said, I'm done. These are from Fanboy Comics. I'll go through them real quickly one more time, just in case you're seeing this one. This is the Transformers. This is the first modern book I've bought in years because Mark from Legion of Comics told me I'll like it. We'll find out. I don't know. I always have a fear about reading modern comic books, me personally. Oh, sorry. I see the other thing. It says Betty looking a little chunky on that cover. Yeah. Well, I mean, and she's wearing black too, which is very slimming. That is interesting. I don't know. She must be mad at Bam Bam for something. Hard to tell. So the story I bought this at Transformers #1. They only had one issue left, and the other two were special cover ratios, so we're like 10 and 20. I'm like, I'm not paying $10 and $20. I did want a variant cover, but if you only have one, you only have one. And then Cops #1. It's crime fighting time. These are not half price. These were like, this was $4.99 because it was new. This was $5 at Fanboy Comics. Yeah, well, it's #1, and it is a double-sized issue, and it's probably, I'm out of these two, I'll probably enjoy this one more, just to give you a little heads up. And then Star Blazers #1 from the 5-issue series. There's two different ones. This one's from the 5-issue, and that is what I've gotten this week. In 2 weeks, hopefully I will check out again. Maybe in 2 weeks it'll be cool enough, and I'll actually be able to go downtown and check out that Memory Lane comics, because I don't like downtown. I always feel like I'm going to get a ticket for parking too long on somewhere. I don't like vertical or horizontal. I just don't like downtown stuff. And they said there's a parking deck. I don't know why. I cringe about parking decks. Maybe because when I was a kid, we used to go to the parking deck at the mall in Greensboro, and it always smelled like pee. I swear it's like people must pee on that parking deck. It was disgusting. So, hey, thanks for joining me, Bub. And anybody else who actually is hiding back there, thanks for joining. And I will be posting the rerun on this later, like on a Saturday. So thanks for those who joined me live. And comment below and let me know which one is your favorite from all of these. I would think, personally, there's a lot of good ones here. If I had to judge from my own personal memory, I'd probably judge either this one. I was talking about this section. Either this one. I don't know. I've heard a lot of good things about Johnny Quest. So if I had to pick one, it would definitely be, I'm thinking this one right here is going to be the one I'm going to enjoy the most, because I absolutely love G.I. Joe. It's a lot of fun reading. Have a great day. Catch you guys on the rewind.